Hey guys, it's Joe from the World of Hoops. So this is another video in our series on ball handling, how to improve ball handling, learning a little bit more about it, some of the best drills. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff. But today's video is on why you dribble and when you dribble. And I think that's important. And there's really two lessons that I want everybody to learn from this. Is the first one is you should have a reason why you dribble. It shouldn't just be default, you start dribbling every time you touch the ball. And the second thing is to learn what some of those reasons are. You know, there's a really long list, and we're just going to go through a few of the key ones, and we're going to show you a few clips from some of the playoff games here, which demonstrate some of that. So one of the reasons I wanted to make this video in the series is because when you see a lot of videos on YouTube or Instagram, you see a lot of people training for basketball and basketball trainers just kind of pounding the hell out of the ball, doing a lot of dribble moves, stringing them all together and ending it in some sort of step back jump shot or a layup or a dunk. And really there just aren't that many baskets in a high school, college, or even an NBA game that come from those real isolation settings. Typically you're going to have somebody going off of a non-dribble move with their jab step, working that. You'll have people using screen and rolls. You're going to have dribble penetration and kickouts for shots. A good stat from the NBA is that only 15% of baskets come from a player that has dribbled more than twice. So it's really kind of a small percentage. And even as I pulled the clips together for this video, it was hard to find those true isolation plays. We will show you a few of them, but it just goes to show you that what makes its way to the highlights isn't necessarily what happens in a game. So with that, let's get into a few of the times and reasons why you dribble.
Okay, this first clip is going to have a couple of the uses for the dribble. So the basic one you see here is just advancing the ball down the court. This is a relaxed pace. Then you're going to see Westbrook gets the ball back and uses his dribble with the pick and roll, and he finds Adams for the lob. This clip has a whole different pace. Westbrook here is also advancing down the court, but on a fast break and going all the way to the basket. This clip, the Sixers show one of the most common uses of the dribble is just moving the ball within the offense. So Simmons uses it to create space, Covington comes off the screen and moves the ball over to find Embiid. So I'm rewinding that one here so we can look at that and I can talk a little bit more. But the Sixers are setting up their offense here, and you can see the dribble used a few places. So Simmons had to use an extra dribble to get a clearer passing lane to Saric, and then Saric does a dribble handoff with Covington. But right here, Covington is actually shortening the distance by dribbling over, knowing that Embiid is coming off the screen versus trying to throw a longer pass. And that's another key time to use your dribble. Next we have dribble penetration. So a quick pause here to clarify. Dribble penetration, it can be a move towards the hoop, but it's often just getting into an advantageous place. It's not an ISO where a player pounds the ball. It's getting somewhere, drawing defenders, or getting a clear path. And here Simmons, on a fast break, gets to the foul line and finds a shooter for an open look. This is great dribble penetration by the Thunder. So Westbrook gets to the paint, and then Paul George does as well, and they get a good high percentage shot. But you can see what happens when Westbrook comes in. Look at the defense having to collapse. And now they're rotating, and once the defense is rotating, it creates easier driving lanes, and eventually just a really high percentage easy bucket for the Thunder. Okay, last one on dribble penetration. It may look like isolation a little bit, but Embiid isn't pounding the ball. He's catching it and then purposefully trying to get to the paint. And he just crushes this one. We'll watch that one more time with sound.
He's had some ridiculous numbers, both rebounding and assists, and Embiid.
Okay, next one is using the dribble in the post-up. It's a little like an isolation, and here we see kind of a mid-post from Westbrook, and now we're going to cut to a little bit more of a low post with Embiid. But obviously this is a great way to create an angle or get a basket in the post. Okay, this one happens fast. So there's two things I'll point out. The first is the fact that Westbrook gets this ball and does not waste a dribble, which speeds up the play. The second is that Paul George uses a dribble to gather himself and finish the layup. Although if George had caught the ball closer to the hoop, I would have advocated him not taking an extra dribble. It's funny when you're looking for isolation plays because there really aren't that many. Most buckets in a game don't come from isolations, but I grabbed a few plays that are similar to isolations or quick isolations. So here you see Embiid. No real use of the dribble, just kind of one dribble and pulling up. Westbrook does get a pick and roll here. Gets off a shot, decent shot, but tough one. Simmons here, this is about as isolation as you get. He works his jab and ends up with a little short pull-up. Here's a good contrast, though, where McConnell actually uses his dribble to create space so he can get his shot off a little more cleanly.
3 fouls.
But just to think through using your dribble, you see here, Paul George doesn't hurry to dribble. He waits for the defense to close and uses the pump fake to get by his defender, not a dribble. And it's consistent as you go through a few of these videos. Here you do the same thing. Pump fake and get to the hoop.
So that's it. You can see the different reasons why you dribble. Again, this isn't the full list, but these are some of the really vital items. And I know we didn't have actually a video of breaking pressure, breaking a double team, but I think everybody kind of knows what that looks like, and that's an important skill to work on. But thinking back to what we said at the beginning, Chris Paul has the ball in his hands a lot, but most of the time it's not in an isolation setting where he's just trying to break a man down, but he's doing one of these items, moving the ball within the offense or using a pick and roll. So think about that when you get into your training, and we'll talk more about the best ways to train as we get through this video series. So that's it. Thanks for the time. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, head to the website, and like the video. Thanks.